Alright guys, so in today's video I'm going to go over FUT 21. Now they did a reveal on the EA Sports YouTube channel and on their Twitter. So what I'll do is in this video I'm going to play parts of the trailer, and then once a certain section's done I'm going to go over what they're talking about and what they've introduced. Now the trailer only talks about 6 new additions, but if you actually go onto the pitch notes, which is what's being displayed right now, and then if you look at the pitch notes that are highlighted in red, that's what is covered briefly in the trailer. The rest of it, things like live foot friendlies, updated game menus, removal of fitness and training, a big one there, next generation consoles, another big one there, and then more deep dives into things like division rivals, weekly match cap. They go into detail on the pitch notes. Now what I'll do is I'll link the pitch notes in the description below. But for now, let's get into the video. So one of the main concepts of FIFA Ultimate Team 21 is simple. It's the most social FIFA ever. So what they mean is you can hop onto Ultimate Team and you can check who's online, invite them into the lobby. Whoever's the captain will then get to choose, and you can go into play division rivals, squad battles, and offline friendlies as well. Now, I'll let the clip play out now, and then we'll take it from there.
Friends in your Ultimate Team, win together and get rewarded together in FUT Co-op. Team up with a friend online and go head-to-head against other duos or solo players in FUT friendlies and division rivals. Or play together against AI and squad battles. And earn progress in your individual weekly competitions that reward you for your teamwork.
So, FUT Co-op. So they've introduced this new widget into the home menu. You just got to hit R2 or RB on Xbox, and it'll show you what players are online. You choose which one you want to play with, and then whoever's initiated the action will be the captain. And then once you've initiated that, this screen will show for both people. Now, it'll show you the top rated players, but more importantly, the captain will be able to choose whether to go into a squad battles match, a division rivals match, or an online or offline friendlies match. Now, the good thing about this is, one thing they've introduced is a cap. So for both squad battles, it's already there. I think it's 40 games, but for division rivals, it's going to be 30 games, I believe. There's more on that later on in the video. Once either player hits that cap, if they go into FUT Co-op, then neither player will be able to earn points that will add to the total ranking at the end. What you can earn is skill points. So you can't earn division rivals points, but you can earn skill points to get promotion or to do objectives, etc. Now, one other thing to note is if I'm in Division 5 and I'm playing with my mate who's in Division 7, then we're going to get matched up against people in Division 5. So my mate might struggle. But the other thing to note is, if we do win the match, then I'll get points as if I beat a Division 5 opponent. My partner will get points as if he beat a Division 7 opponent, so he won't get more points. Then finally, the last thing to note on FUT Co-op is, and this is something that I love, because one thing that's annoying in division rivals and in draft, it's not possible in weekend league, and I'm not sure if it's possible in the friendlies, is when you play online, it's only until you get to the matchup screen do you know if the opponent's got a guest, and they'll show you. And even that's hard to miss. Sometimes I'll start a game and I won't realise they've got a guest until I'm actually playing. But this year they've introduced this screen, and it can make basically matchmaking settings. You can decide whether you want to play against people that are playing co-op or solo, or whether they're playing just solo, and it'll filter out and make it easier really. But that's the big thing on FUT Co-op.
Unite with other FUT players around the world with new FUT events. Are you hashtag Team Holland or hashtag Team Felix? Pick a side and compete against the FUT community to unlock packs, coins, club items, or players with new team events. Or work together as a global collective and earn shared rewards by completing objectives in community events.
So the next big thing to talk about is FUT community events. Now, this is similar to Season Progress. I don't know if it's replacing it. I'm not entirely sure. I think Season Progress is still there. But one thing you remember is you'll have objectives to help the season progress. So in FIFA 20, you'll have things like whenever there's a lone icon in the catalogue, you got to start him in and 6 Serie A players, for example, and score. So there'll be things like that for the community to do. So win X amount of matches, score X amount of goals, score X amount of headers. And the more the community gets together to complete these objectives, the bigger the pool of reward, and everyone that competes will get the reward. Then the other thing is there's team events, so you got to choose which team you want to be. So there's in the example they give Team Haaland and Team Felix. Now it's not about choosing which team has more members because I think it's based on average XP. But there'll be objectives like start João Felix in a match, score a header with João Felix, score a hat trick, and whichever team has more XP at the end will be rewarded. But there's also rewards for the losing team. So that's something that they're focusing on, the social aspect of objectives. One thing to add with these community events is you'll see on this screen that the rewards are only stadium themes and tifos. But from reading the pitch notes, it looks like the rewards will change and there will be packs, coins, and various other things. Now, I'm not sure how good or bad this will be. Initially, season objectives were only tifos, which I never really used, and players at certain objectives. But I guess if it's packs and they're untradeable, then that's a benefit to the community, isn't it? So that's just one more thing to know.
This season, how players pass, save, tackle, and score in the real world really counts in meaningful moments. Bullet headers could increase heading power. Goal-saving tackles lift players tackling, and long-range screamers raise shot power. So when Trent hits a 20-yard perler in the top corner, those free kick stats on his moments item get a boost to reflect it.
Alexander-Arnold, oh yes!
So the next part is meaningful moments. Now there's not much to add here. Everything's explained pretty precisely in the video. Trent Alexander-Arnold scores a free kick against Manchester United. They win the game 2-0. He's going to get a moments item, and his moments item is going to get a +8 on free kick accuracy. Now, one question I do have is something that they've not actually expanded on in the pitch notes is whether these moments items are going to replace Team of the Week items or whether it's going to be incorporated within Team of the Week items, so there's going to be a few moments cards. But that's something I guess we'll find out either when the game's out or in the coming weeks. But that's it for meaningful moments.
Welcome to your new home. FUT 21 takes customization to a new level with FUT Stadium, inspired by some of the most intense atmospheres in world football, and with endless ways to make it your own. From walkout music to goal celebrations, pyrotechnics to tifos, change every aspect to your taste and to flaunt your achievements. And that's not all. As your FUT club grows, so will your stadium, with new tiers and new ways to make it bounce.
Now, the next big thing to talk about is FUT Stadium. They've made the stadium and the arena one of the most customizable things in the game. I'm going to be honest, me personally, I'm not into changing the tifos and getting everything looking dandy. It's just a visual part of the game. My majority of my games are done in Division Rivals and Weekend League, and you play with the default stadium in there, so it doesn't really bother me. But I guess there is a community of people out there that do care about this sort of stuff. So I think there's 34 customizable things in the stadium. So things like crowd chants, stadium theme, there's pyrotechnics that they show as well, celebration, ball, kits, all sorts. And then one thing they've added for, I think, next-gen consoles is that the stadium grows as you complete more objectives. So you'll be able to add tiers and stuff like that. But that's it for stadium customization.
And a stadium that good deserves big-name players. Introducing the FUT 100. 100 of the biggest icons to ever play the beautiful game. From Pele to Zidane, Ronaldo to Cruyff, and now Lam, Xavi, and Eto'o, the greats are all here. And so is the king.
Now the next big thing to talk about is FUT icons. Now they only showed a few of the new icons in the game, but I believe there's 11 announced so far. I don't know if they're going to announce more. They say there's going to be 100 icons in total. Now there's a picture on the screen here of all the icons. You can go through them in detail. The new ones are on the top there. There's no mention of versions of icons. So obviously in FIFA 20, they had base icons. They had mid, prime, and prime moments. Now me personally, I think 2 versions will probably be enough. Either the base or the mid, and then the moments. And the reason I say that is certain icons like, your Rui Costas, your Decos, Michael Owens, Alan Shearer's, they don't differ much from, your mid to the prime or the base to the mid. So it'd just be easy if there's only 2 versions. It just having more, basically, it just dilutes the market. But that's my opinion. Now, the new icons, let's talk about them. There's Ashley Cole, Eric Cantona, Peter Cech, Eto'o, Torres, Philip Lahm, Puskas, Schweinsteiger, Davor Suker, Vidic, and Xavi. A lot of these they've been after for a while. Peter Cech's one, Ashley Cole, the greatest left back to ever play in the Premier League that ever played for England. Eric Cantona, Man United legend, and obviously Nemanja Vidic. You know, that for me, that's a big one because now I can play with the back three, the best back three to ever play for Man United: Edwin van der Sar, Nemanja Vidic, and Rio Ferdinand. Well, yeah, those are the new icons. I'm sure there'll be more on the way. Now, the icon list is actually separate to the footnotes, to the pitch notes rather. So I'll link that in the description below as well. Now, for the rest of the video, I'm going to talk about the things that weren't highlighted in the trailer, but there is a note on it on the deep dive pitch notes. So, namely, they are the core competitive modes and improvements, live foot friendlies, updated game menus, the removal of fitness and training items, and the next gen of consoles.
When you're ready for a match, compete on your terms with improvements to core FUT modes that make games more rewarding, whoever the opponent. Go up against AI and squad battles to help you find your skill level in division rivals without the need for online qualifiers. Then battle against other similarly skilled players around the world in division rivals, where you'll be rewarded the first time you get promoted to a new division on your way to Division 1. Or if you want to try something different, shake up your team with new live FUT friendlies where squad rules and house rules combine to give you a range of new matches that change throughout the season.
The first thing we're going to talk about is core competitive modes improvements. So the first change they've made is division rivals placement. So there's two changes they've made here. Now, they want to focus on people that play exclusively squad battles and then transitioning from single player to online. So what they've done is the first 30 squad battles matches you play, they'll put you in a placement tier for division rivals. And then this will hopefully help you transition from single player to online multiplayer. Now, those people that don't play squad battles, myself included, will also have the 5 placement matches, but apparently they've tweaked the matchmaking so you get better placement results. Now, from here, they've also introduced a promotion reward for divisions. So the first time you get promoted from Division 6 to 5, you'll get a cash reward, coin reward. In your placement matches, let's say you end up in Division 6, then you'll get the reward for 10, 9, 8, and 7 all in one go. Now on the screen, they've got a Division 1 division promotion reward of 10,000 coins, which is absolutely ridiculous, and I hope they change this. It should genuinely be 100,000 coins at least, because to get to Division 1 is incredibly hard. Like, it's absurdly difficult in FIFA 20. So I really hope they change division promotion reward from 10,000 to at least 100,000. Now from here, they've also changed the division rivals weekly match cap. Now what they've done is, in FIFA 20, you can play division rivals. Well, you can just keep playing it an infinite number of matches until you reach the required score. So you can lose 100 matches, win 100 matches, and you'll get tier 1, which I guess it works for people who have no time, but for people who do have a limited amount of time, it doesn't really help. So one new change they've implemented, and I think this is a very good change, is they've limited it to 30. So every week you can only play 30 matches. In those 30 matches, you got to get the highest rank possible. And it'll obviously tell you when you've got X amount of games remaining. Once you've finished the 30 matches, you can carry on playing for objectives and to get skill points to get promoted, maybe even relegated, but it won't count towards your weekly score. The other thing they've changed is the weekly score. Previously it was 5 tiers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now it's going to be 6 tiers. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out in motion. And then finally, the thing is expanded top leaderboards. So for squad battles and for FUT champions, they've changed it from a top 100 to a top 200, and the rewards have changed as well. So getting first place in both remains exactly the same. It's a level, it's an accomplishment of its own. And then from there on, they've just expanded it from 2 to 10 to 2 to 20, and so on and so forth. This doesn't really concern me. I'm so far away from top 100. I'm probably an Elite 3 player at best. So I guess for people that do miss out top 100, Boris Legend is one who's constantly getting Elite 1 because he gets 28 and he gets a disconnect. So I guess it will help people like him, and I'm grateful that it does help people like him. But that's it for the core competitive mode improvements. So they've tweaked FUT friendlies, so they're combining squad rules and house rules into friendlies. So what that means is you're able to configure your friendlies to, I don't know, a max of 3 Premier League players, only silver players, only bronze players, that sort of stuff. Then another thing they've introduced is on the screen here is FUT friendlies challenges or objectives. Now I don't know what the rewards for these are. It doesn't really say, but I mean, FUT friendlies is something that I rarely ever got into. I only did it for objectives. So it's not something I'm interested in, to be honest, but yeah, that's something that they've changed. So they've made changes to the FUT menu as well. So on the left there, you'll see where it says Customize Stadium. That's a contextualized window. Depending on what you hovered over, so news, it'll tell you the latest news, so pitch notes, that sort of stuff. Objectives, latest objectives, play, division rivals, that sort of stuff. It's self-explanatory. The window on the right, I think that window kind of exists in FIFA 20 already, where it tells you what's in packs, what promos are on, that sort of stuff. So that's the difference. Now, you'll also notice where it says Stadium Squad at the bottom. So if you hold left, so if you hold the left analog stick and you push it up, then it'll take you straight into the stadium. Now this is the player menu screen. It's the same as FIFA 20. So in FIFA 21 you'll go into this screen, but then once you hit L3, it'll take you into this screen. Now this is an overview screen in a list view, and this is an amazing addition, I'm not going to lie. So it tells you the player name, the position, what the overall rating is, the attributes, then the nationality, so on and so forth. And this is it's going to work wonders. It's going to help us decide what players to use so much more. And it's something that they should have introduced such a long time ago, but again, this is a fantastic new addition to the game. One other change they've made is when you go onto an objective and you press the triangle button where it says take me there, and it takes you to, say, the transfer market. One change they've made is that if you then hit, I think it's L3, the left analog stick in, then it'll tell you, a little pop-up will come up on the screen like so, and it'll tell you what it is you're doing, so in case you've forgotten. It just makes playing the game easier, which is a huge benefit. And the final two changes coming to FUT 21 we're going to talk about. The first one is the removal of fitness and training items. Now, I can't stress how big of a change this is and how amazing this is going to make FIFA 21. Fitness is something that's been a staple of the game for many years, and it's something that has been hit and miss, I guess. But there's going to be no more of those, FUT Champs games where you're playing 5 in a row. You've played 3 games, and then you go into the 4th game without applying the fitness card. Comes to half time and your players are all out of stamina. Now this is going to make player stamina much more important, and they're going to have to address that and rebalance it moving forward, because players like N'Golo Kante should be able to play as they do for the full 90 minutes, whereas certain other players, they should run out of stamina more quickly. Now, one thing they've also done is they've rebalanced chemistry styles and how often we get them in the game. They've also removed training items again, which is another huge positive. But one negative of this is, as they've removed certain items from the game, you don't pack them, and they've replaced them with things like tifos, which is just gonna buff out packs. So you're gonna have a gold pack, and they're gonna have tifos in them, which is gonna make the gold pack worth less, essentially. I guess that's a negative, and well, that's one of them. And then finally, the last thing we're going to talk about is the thing that's probably the most important to me, and that's the port of FIFA 21 to next generation consoles. So the way they've done it is they've introduced something called dual entitlement, which means that if you buy FIFA 21 on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, then you'll automatically get FIFA 21 on PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. Now the way that works is if you buy it digital, then you'll be prompted to download the FIFA 21 digital version on the PlayStation 5, I believe. But it'll do some sort of verification to make sure you've still got FIFA 21 on the PlayStation 4. Same with the Xbox. When it comes to the disc, I think they're going to ship it with some sort of dual entitlement on the disc. So what that means is you'll be able to plug the disc into the FIFA 21 into PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. And then once the next generation console comes out, you take the disc out and you put it into the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox One Series X, then it reads that it's a FIFA 21 disc, and it'll enable you to download FIFA 21 for PlayStation 5. But whenever you play it, you're going to have to leave the disc in the console, so it stops people from obviously installing it and selling it. So some sort of verification needs to be done. But that's a huge positive, because last year, or the previous generation, the way they did it was that you'd buy FIFA 21 on PlayStation 3, and then you'd have to take the physical copy back into, say, game, and I think it was a £10 on top, and you got the PlayStation 4 version copy of the game. And that's it for the video. FIFA 21 is looking to be a great game so far. They've made a lot of good improvements and good changes to the game. The gameplay looking positive as well. Now, I'm not going to get my hopes up too much, because FIFA 20 started off like this, and then eventually it became the monster that it is today. But so far, it's so good. And yeah, that's it for the video, really. If you like the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, share the video, comment on the video. What's your favourite new feature coming to FIFA 21? Leave a comment below. Most importantly, subscribe for more content like this. There probably won't be a rewards video on Thursday because I didn't play the weekend league and my weekend was all the better for it. Managed to finish The Last of Us Part 2. But that's it for today's video, and until the next one, peace.
With new ways to play with your friends in FUT Co-op, new ways to compete and get rewards, and a fresh stadium to play in, get yourself ready for the most social and customizable FUT yet.